welcome back to the Veterans Day Parade. You know about the Coast Guard, right? I mean, personally.
I've been saved several times.
Because your mom is an officer in the Coast Guard.
She served as a Chief Petty Officer, actually, in the Coast Guard Reserves. We're very proud of her. You know, Paul and Rosanna, did you hear their motto? You have to go out, but you don't have to come back.
That's a pretty
intense motto.
That's right. Well, if you look, I'm today at the ceremony at 23rd Street. They introduced the 2 rescue swimmers. And I have to tell you, I was humbled to be in the midst of those 2 young men who dived in to Hurricane Sandy to rescue the people that were lost at sea there. And they apologized. They said, we came back, but we didn't get all of them. We got 14 out of 60. And just think of the storm in which they left the safety of a helicopter and went into the ocean.
They're not just, you know, out there in wartime. They are deployed every single day, correct?
That's true. It's like even like before 9/11.
That's right.
Before the Marine Corps and the Army deployed, you know, fought 2 major wars, they really are out there operational every day. Prior to 9/11, let's face it, the services trained
at
most
war
of the time.
every day because they're battling the drug cartels when we're peaceful here at home.
Right.
So and they're always risking their lives for us.
Well, we salute them today as we salute all the men and women in the military.
Most definitely. We go back to Mike Woods, who has a special guest.
All right, I got 2 special guests out here. We have Gordon Lobel as well as Michael Levitt here with the Coast Guard. Thank you very much for coming out here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Now what we have, the Coast Guard's going to be passing by here in a little bit, and want to get some perspective from your point of view. Now you're based here in New York, in Staten Island, right?
That's correct. I'm the captain of the port for the state of New York, New Jersey, and Sector New York is a large field command. We have 700 active duty, 300 reservists, and about 2,000 auxiliaries. Those are our volunteers.
So this is a big time thing going on right now, and you've been extremely active with the storm that came through, and you actually live in Staten Island. Your family's there.
Right. We were actually been very busy for the last couple of weeks, but this is a great way to come out and say thank you to the veterans who you know, gave us the rights, our freedoms, everything. Just the right thing to do to come out and honor them.
That's right. Now, Michael Levitt, now you're with the Coast Guard, but you represent more nationally. So tell me a little bit more about that.
I work directly with the Commandant, and I get a great honor and privilege to work with all the fine Coast Guard men and women and get a chance to see all the support we get from the families of the United States Coast Guard.
Because we have a lot of folks that are out there working hard right now. I mean, especially what's happened as of late here with Sandy coming through. A lot of folks are busy. We probably would have more participants from the Coast Guard if it weren't for the storm, right?
Oh, we sure would. And you know, just to let you know, Sector New York's up here. We have a lot of Coast Guard men and women up here right now giving a lending hand up here, helping our shipmates out and their families. And we have family support units out here doing the same thing for the folks out there. In addition to that, we have them out there in our communities, and they're still working hard out there, doing the things they got to do to take care of the Port of New York and all the surrounding communities out there.
What other sorts of things does the Coast Guard really handle throughout the year that a lot of folks might not be aware of?
Well, you know, a lot of things you can always see. You see the Coast Guard, you probably relate like search and rescue. The HMS Bounty that everybody saw off of Cape Hatteras out there. We had our air crews go out there and rescue those folks in pretty much in a hurricane out there with the 20-foot seas and the 60-knot gust of wind out there. And you all saw that nationally. And then you saw, but a lot of times you don't see the 2 Coast Guard cutters that were out there that were looking for some of the folks, and then the support piece that's behind all of that to make that happen. We do that on a daily basis.
It is. It's on a daily basis. It has nothing to do with what's going on abroad. We're, protecting ourselves locally here. So we have a lot of participants that are coming through here. Now, who are some of the folks that are going to be coming through with the Coast Guard?
No, you're going to see the Honor Guard, the drill team that I think they're performing over there right now.
Okay.
Okay, and also what you're going to see from Sector New York, because we have so many people who have been impacted by the storm and are so busy trying to get everything back together again. We have one participant, one representative who's going to represent the whole sector.
Wow.
Her name is Ensign Nicole Barriga. She's from Queens, local girl. And she graduated from the Merchant Marine Academy.
Okay.
And she was on watch the night the hurricane hit.
Wow, so from that point forward, I'm sure she's been extremely busy, and so she's the only one that was able to make it.
We selected her as a representative. She was very special events that occurred that night. We were receiving calls from over 100 people, probably about 170 people that were stranded in Coney Island, Breezy Point, Staten Island, those areas that were heavily affected by the storm. And she was part of the team that coordinated helicopters that were on scene first light so they could rescue people. We wound up saving 3 lives in Staten Island.
Right.
But there was potentially a lot, it could have been a lot.
Could have been a lot worse. And again, you're being from Staten Island, you probably knew a lot of the families that were affected by the storm.
Certainly, there were plenty of families, plenty of our own Coast Guard families that were affected, and we're working very hard to get their lives back together.
Get them back in order. Now, Michael, so tell me a little bit more about the Coast Guard in terms of what goes on from this point forward and what folks need to know about the Coast Guard and how they can perhaps help.
Well, what they know about the Coast Guard is, the Coast Guard, well, first we reflect society. We're located in almost every single town coastal. We're nationally connected. We're globally, we're all across the world. And we perform 11 separate missions. Search and rescue being one of those law enforcement you see out here, port security. You probably saw last year ice breaking.
Sure.
Some of the great things I get an opportunity to do is see these fine men and women walking right by us in the honor guard.
Well, let's talk about that, like the honor guard. Who is this? Go ahead and say that one more time.
Well, the honor guard is a great reflection of some of our Coast Guard out here. And what they do is they perform in the White House, high-level functions, and they're so engaged. They carry on our customs, our heritage, our traditions, and they work with all our other services too when they do that. So I'm so proud of them. And often we're very small, and so very small in numbers, but we're always there. We're always there in our support and doing the things we got to do.
And I think a lot of folks get very excited when they see the Coast Guard, the color guide go by, and it's like it's a tradition that is seen around many of the holidays and throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And a lot of folks, it's important to also know that we're a member of the armed forces, and that's where we fall into this right here. So that's one of our missions too. But like I say, it's a great honor right here, and just look how sharp they look.
They really do. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I know a lot of folks, it gives you a chill when you see them go by, right?
Yeah, it sure does. And this is our recruit over at Recruit Training, our Cape May, where we start off as Coast Guardsmen, where they make that transition from civilian life to military life. When they learn about our Coast Guard ethos, our Coast Guard core values, we make that transition. They learn about 222 years of Coast Guard history, traditions, heritage.
What's that like for folks to go from the civilian to the Coast Guard? What's that transformation like? And what do you see in these young men and women who are going through that transformation process?
I'll tell you, it's really something else when you go in there, when they first get off the bus, when that first company commander gets on board, their eyes are so big. They don't know what hit them, but when they graduate, that 8-week process, when they leave, they are proud, they're very confident, and they're ready to take on the challenges in the Coast Guard. That's what I see. I see very, very happy young men and women coming out of there, ready to give back to the Coast Guard.
And they're providing such a service, and you can see as they walk by what pride they do have, and they're talented too, with everything that goes on.
That's our Coast Guard band, sir. Our Coast Guard band does, they do a lot of the same thing. What I remember about them is, I see them all the time too, and they carry on our traditions, our customs, and our ceremonies too. And you heard them today probably at the parade there at the park there.
Right, at the beginning.
At the very beginning, and you'll see them doing that with our other services. And I just proud. They sing our service songs out there. They represent us in White House functions. They sang at the 2010 Christmas lighting show when it was so cold I thought my shoes were going to crack.
But we made it. We made it.
And they did such a great job out there. And then they even been their first military service that actually, first military band that actually performed in Leningrad in Russia. I didn't know that until we did a little history check on that. But they're great, and I even wrote a letter to them how proud I am. How proud I am, all of them, because they're all part of what we do.
They're absolutely fantastic, and we're all very proud of you. Thank you for coming out here and sharing some of your stories with the U.S. Coast Guard, and happy Veterans Day to you all, and we appreciate all that you do, and enjoy the parade, and this is really quite a treat for me because a lot of this I haven't seen before. But we have more special guests, and we're going to go to my colleague Elise Zwick. She's got some more fantastic things going on. Hey, Elise.
Hey, Mike. I'm actually here with Elmo from Sesame Street and some wonderful military children. Sesame Street has a program, Talk, Listen, and Connect, which educates military children and military families on deployments or homecomings and how to deal with that. Elmo, are you excited to be with us today? There are more than 1.9 million military children, and over 700,000 have seen one or two parents deployed. So this program through Sesame Street is absolutely amazing. So if you're a military parent, you're a military child, check it out. Look for Elmo. Everyone wave.
Association of Black Military Women. Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this. Stay with us.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. We salute you this Veterans Day.
Good job, guys.
You may know some kids who have a parent in the military.
Yeah, it can be hard when a daddy and a mommy is away for a long time.
But you can help them feel better.
By including them in what you do, playing with them.
And just letting them know they've got a friend.
Yeah.
I joined the Navy when I was 19.
I was a commissioned officer at 23.
I was in avionics.
Tactical telecommunications.
Squad leader.
I think the hardest transition as you get further in the military is you know it's going to end one day. Chase hired me to be a personal banker and business analyst, manager.
I'm very proud to work for Chase.
When you hire a veteran, you get
great leadership,
decisiveness, focus.
Chase knows when you hire a veteran, you're hiring America's best.
Chase is proud to help 100,000 veterans find jobs at home.
We were heading out for a combat mission. My vehicle was sent 6 feet in the air in a ball of fire. I thought I was going to die.
Say a prayer for peace. Dan survived that terrible day, but paid a heavy price for his bravery. I'm Trace Atkins, and I want to tell you about Wounded Warrior Project and how they stood by Dan's side when he needed them the most.
They've personally impacted my life, and they've personally impacted thousands of lives. Not only the warrior, but their family members.
The job of helping wounded warriors rebuild their lives is massive and growing every day.
It's great to know that there's an organization out there who's willing and able to help.
Fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan. Please don't forget our wounded warriors. Make that call now.
My family came to the United States from a military dictatorship, didn't have any of the freedoms that Americans hold dearly. The Air Force is not just a job, it's truly a calling. Our job in cyber operations is to ensure that the data and communications of the world are safe from attack. My family, they're extremely proud that their son serves this country which they fought so hard to get to. My name is Captain Nicholas Aquino, and I'm an American Airman.
When a member makes a commitment to join Step Into Their Boots, they are required to pick a fallen service member. They then must learn all about that person's life and military service. We personalize a pair of combat boots from what we've learned, which we wear while we complete at least a year of community service. This way we are taking that person with us. They're more than just a name on a pair of boots. We carry on their legacy. Our motto is we will continue the steps they can no longer take.
It's a great program to get kids involved with so they understand what the people before them have gone through.
And it seems to me so different, my understanding of history, so different for the veterans of today than the veterans of yesterday, coming back from Vietnam. Paul Buca, Vietnam veteran, Medal of Honor recipient. How different is it? Is the public reception of veterans returning from service from when you came back?
Well, when I came back, it wasn't chic, it wasn't in vogue to say you're a veteran. Now it's very chic to be a Vietnam veteran, which is kind of interesting how it happens. And the Vietnam veterans insisted, because they're in many of the leadership positions in the Department of Defense, that this era's veteran will come home to a different welcome. But I am not convinced that that welcome is sincere very deep down. The concept of service, thank you for your service, slap them on the back and walk on, oftentimes that's all someone says. And the veteran says, excuse me, and the person walks on because they're too busy. The other thing is that we just saw a clip on the Gold Star Mothers. I just spoke to their national convention. Other than 2 biker groups who were there giving them some small amounts of money in the scheme of things, but more than they'd ever received, a couple $1,000s each biker group gave to the Gold Star Mothers. There wasn't one representative of the government there, wasn't one representative of the military, and as a result, I think there is a public display of respect and gratitude. I'm not sure how deeply it goes. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the unemployment rate between veterans 18 to 24 be as high as 50%.
Why is it higher? Why is it higher than civilians in general?
That particular group are the ones that fought the war. They're that particular group probably didn't go to college. They're going to do that now. And they're looking for a job because they have to pay the bills with their wives and kids that they have, because the veterans of this war weren't like the veterans of Vietnam who were young and enlisted at the age of 18. Yeah, these kids are coming in, many of them with families. And then when they leave, they say, how do I take care of my family? I can't get a job. And the wife or the husband, whoever was deployed, says it's my job to get the job. And they can't.
Well, at least there are some new programs now that were not established when you came back. Chase, for example,
Yes.
with this Jobs Initiative. The Wounded Warriors Project, was that around when you came back
No,
from
it was
Vietnam?
not. No, it was not.
So, I mean, there are projects that are kind of embracing our veterans as they come home.
Yes, and the Department of Defense recognized that. DOD, Department of Defense, Department of Veterans Affairs, and Department of Labor are working together to try to solve this problem. So it's getting the attention, but we have to have more events like this where the average human being sees a vet and says, you know, they're all right, they're good,
Yeah.
they're just like us. And then they might ask the question, how can I help them?
Well, I think it's a great talking point today, and hopefully people out there are listening to you.
All right, stay with us, please. We're going to go to Elise Zwick along the parade route. She is a special guest. Hello, Elise.
Hello, I'm here with Cindy Ventura, Blue Star mother and Gold Star family member, as well as Bill White, the CEO of the Constellation Group. Cindy, can you tell us what it means, both of the organizations that you're with?
Okay, I'm president of Long Island Blue Stars. Blue Stars are actively serving. We are the mothers of your actively serving military. A Gold Star mother is a mother who has lost her child to these conflicts or any of the conflicts that we ever fight in. And I happen to be each. I lost my oldest son 18 months ago, United States Marine, and my 21-year-old son is also a Marine like his brother. So this organization is very dear to my heart because I had that support system that the Vietnam veterans' mothers did not have in the Blue Star families. So I'm very...
Thank you so much. We're so proud to have you with us today. Bill, can you tell us a little bit about your organization, and you have some news for us today?
Yes, well, we're responsible for helping the United War Veterans Council with its fundraising, and of course we raised hundreds of millions of dollars for families like Cindy's, you know, for her son Jerome and others that have given their life. But for this parade, you know, we do need resources. So JP Morgan Chase, U-Haul, the History Channel, Wounded Warrior Project is one of our major sponsors. But we just got an email today from none other than Rush Limbaugh. And he accidentally typed in an email that he was sending us $25,000 and hit the shift key for the dollar sign. I said, are you sure? And he said, no, I want to give $100,000. So he just emailed us $100,000, and we're very, very grateful for everybody that supports the parade. This takes a lot of money to put on. We have the love and support and the marchers, but we really do need the funding. So go to uwvc.org and make a contribution today. And if you're coming down to visit the parade, bring a coat. Don't come empty-handed because we're helping Sandy victims. So
Thank you so much. Now we're going to head over to Mike, and he has a special guest for us.
All right, hey there. Yes, we have a special guest. We have Jennifer Rivera. And yeah, what was the branch that you served in?
The Army.
Okay, very good. And now, what was it like? Because, you know, I think a lot of folks think of the Army and the different services of the our armed forces to be a man's world. But you're a woman and you did well. And would you recommend that? What was it like?
Absolutely. It was a leadership unparalleled to any other leadership that I've experienced. Absolutely. Any person who's patriotic and willing to go out there, by all means. It's challenging, but it's a great opportunity for people's development and growth and have a different experience.
I love that. So it's empowering probably for a lot of folks. And a lot of folks are very passionate about giving back to their country and even sacrificing their lives. So this is very important. Now, the post of the Army, you also have been involved in other organizations. And why did you volunteer to come help out at the parade today?
First of all, I want to say that to have served was a duty, and to support servicemen is an honor. I'm here to represent women and Hispanics in service. I'm also here to represent my organization, Fountain House, who's a premier organization working with mental illness, people with mental illness. We want to put a program out. We want to open the doors for veterans coming back with PTSD, and we're looking for support from the community and from other people. Anybody that wants more information can call us at 212-765-2294 or go at www.fountainhouse.org. Thank you.
All right, very good. Jennifer, thank you so much. That's great information, and we hope folks go to it. And happy Veterans Day to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll send you back. We'll be right back.
In World War II, from December 1943 to the war's end. I think the Veterans Day Parade is important because it's a chance to revive this feeling of patriotism.
Life after deployment isn't always so easy.
My marriage was falling apart. I had trouble sleeping.
I was always on edge, always tense.
Felt like my kids were afraid of me. I was drinking more every day.
Going from one prescription to the next.
I couldn't find a job.
It was hard to focus in school, let alone everyday life.
I didn't want to admit that I had some issues to deal with.
But you know what? I got sick and tired of it. Decided to get on with my life.
I found the support I needed at my local vet center.
It's a free counseling center for anyone like me who's been in a combat zone.
My family members qualify for readjustment counseling services too.
They adjust everything from PTSD and marital counseling
to military sexual trauma and bereavement therapy.
Most of the counselors and staff are veterans too. I like that.
I like that. I like that.
And you know what? It turns out I'm not the only one who's able to get some help at a local vet center.
Here on Sesame Street, they sing,
"Who are the people in your neighborhood?"
Well, it's important to know the people in your neighborhood who are serving in the military.
because they and their families need our support.
You can reach out, offer your time,
Or just ask, how can I help?
let them know that they can count on the people in your neighborhood.
The people that you meet each day.
Yay! Good job. Good job. Way to go.
Antonio Quinn, Deputy Warden, U.S. Navy.
Captain Garcia, United States Army.
Captain Harris, United States Marine Corps veteran.
Captain Sewell, United States Army Reserves.
Officer Ager, Correction Officer Murphy.
Officer James Ravenel, United States Army, Purple Heart and Bronze Star recipient.
I serve my country.
Now I serve my city.
Now I'm proud to be
New York's boldest.
Veterans Day is important to me because it's a time to say thanks not only to the current veterans and the people that are serving now, but to all those who have served before us. I'm proud to carry on the legacy of past generations because if it wasn't for them doing what they did, we wouldn't be here today to continue on in their tradition.
Welcome back to the Veterans Day Parade here in New York City, the largest Veterans Day Parade in the country.
CUNY, the City University of New York, we've seen a number of colleges go by. Columbia University went by a little while ago with their veterans on board the float. And it's kind of remarkable. Paul Buca and Rosanna, just a few years ago, Columbia did not have a ROTC program, and now it is perhaps one of the most military-friendly colleges we know.
It was very controversial, right, Captain Buca?
No, it was really interesting. Think of the day of the Vietnam protests. They took over all the administration buildings, the protesters. That was, along with Stanford and Berkeley, considered the three hotspots of anti-war sentiment. The dean, 2 years ago, at our Veterans Day celebration at 23rd Street, announced that they were working very hard to bring veterans back to the college and the university. And as a joke, I said, well, why don't you bring ROTC back? And he just winked his eyes and went on. And I thought, well, that's too bad he won't. He did it.
He did it.
He brought it back, and now the school is the #1 choice that I know of veterans coming back to go on to graduate school and complete the degrees that they have. And I think that's quite a testimony to Columbia University being a member of the Ivy League and leading the way.
You don't hear it as much anymore, but you did for a while, and I think it's a fair statement. I think it's a fair sentiment. Someone who doesn't support a war but supports the troops. And the popular notion was, after Vietnam, the the troops themselves were stigmatized. That does not happen anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all. We have, because of the question of PTS, not PTSD, but PTS, meaning the time after a traumatic event, we're starting in our public effort to tell people to confront that issue, get counseling, get strength, get psychological conditioning like you do physical conditioning. There is a risk that's starting to come up where in our polls, we're getting some of the HR people saying, really, how bad is it? What are the implications of it? That's the only risk that we have. It wouldn't be the confusion of the war and the warrior as it did in Vietnam, where the warrior became responsible for the government policy in the eyes of the public. And I think that we've done a tremendous job. Both governments, doesn't matter which party, because it's been two parties fighting these wars, have been conscious to keep the veteran separate from the policy disputes. And I think that's wonderful.
Well, we're celebrating Veterans Day on the 11th day of the 11th month, and it started on the 11th hour.
It did.
Okay, but tomorrow is the federal holiday.
Correct.
Okay.
Tomorrow's a day off? That's terrific.
Not for you, though. You need to report to Fox 5.
Early.
All right.
We'll see about that. This veteran might just take the day off. We'll be right back.
I served with the United States Army and the New York National Guard. I'm currently now an independent stockbroker. My advice to any new veterans coming back is seek the help that you need, but also keep the motivation and the drive that you had in the service to continue to push yourself going forward in the civilian world.
As someone who served my country as a United States Marine, I am proud to stand alongside other veterans with honor, courage, and integrity.
We join the entire country with gratitude for the service and sacrifice of the men, women, and families who have served our country in the armed forces. Thank you.
From one veteran to another, thank you for your service.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you for serving.
You all, saluting those who serve.
The environment is my passion. Every day I live for the outdoors and all of its challenges. That's why I enlisted in the Coast Guard. Now, I serve to protect the environment and defend my country. It's like I was born for this.
Were you born ready for a greater challenge? Find out at GoCoastGuard.com.
Right now, show me your coin. You guys all owe me beers. Oh, except for that one guy. All right, I owe you one beer, but everyone else, no one has a coin? Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for everything you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate what you do for us, to keep us safe, to protect us, our civil liberties, our rights. Putting your lives on the line means a lot to me. Thank you.
We love you. We wish you a safe journey home. Happy Veterans Day.
And how?
Yeah, all right. Some of our celebrity friends. I mean, for a while there, it wasn't cool to say that you supported, right?
I don't know.
A veteran, but nowadays, as Captain Buca says, it's chic.
It looks like the Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler. I'm not sure.
No, but look at the little Piper. There we go.
He doesn't seem so impressed.
He says,
seems
Daddy,
a little exhausted.
Daddy, you said short walk. Are we there yet?
But at least it's a beautiful day. 60-something degrees in New York City. And we have been through hell and back here in this town with Hurricane Sandy and then a nor'easter. But today we are celebrating our veterans in 60-something degree weather. It is a beautiful day.
And it was wonderful having Janet Napolitano, the Secretary of Homeland Security, here to tell us what she's seen and the federal aid that she's bringing into the area. And for those cities not in the New York metropolitan area who are getting this parade, when you have these kinds of occasions, the same kind of support will come your way. And I can think of Houston in particular. A few years ago, they didn't get the support they needed when New Orleans had its problems.
Well, we're lucky we're having the parade. I think there was some consideration a couple of days ago, you know, would we be in a position to have this parade?
Really? Well, we could cancel the marathon.
We canceled the marathon, but they had a few more days to adjust, and the decision was made to greenlight this parade, and it's probably a good thing.
Well,
it's definitely a good thing.
The thing with the marathon was it was like a few miles away from devastation on Staten Island, and at that point there were not enough generators. There weren't even bottles of water to help the people there, and they just thought, how could we have all this stuff for the marathon runners and not take care of the people in our hometown?
And as far as public events, this parade, there's a lot that goes into it, but in a way it's also low maintenance. I mean, you can see folks marching up Fifth Avenue. There was some security, some traffic arrangements that have to be made, but we don't have massive tents. We're not absorbing a great deal of resources to have this.
You're not passing out Gatorade or lemonade when, in fact, the people in the shelters might prefer it. And one of the things that did happen, Janet Napolitano did do this. She sent her people out to all the shelters to identify the veterans, to make sure that they asked them specifically, just before Veterans Day, what can we do to help you? So that even those in the shelters who are suffering.
Let's watch this for a while. This is wild.
Hello. USA Veterans Association of the Republic of China.
Very cool.
Look at that.
Look at that dragon. Get another shot of that dragon. That thing is wild. All right, the dragon is north of 42nd Street. We'll be right back.
I joined the Navy when I was 19. I spent 4 years in the military, and I served a tour in Iraq. All the skills I learned in the military are very transferable into the corporate and real world. Chase hired me to be a personal banker. The 100,000 Jobs mission has definitely helped me get my foot in the door. Chase is giving opportunities to vets who don't think that there's any opportunity out there. Chase and these other companies are getting a great deal when they hire veterans.
Chase is proud to help 100,000 veterans find jobs at home.
Who better to pursue entrepreneurship than the men and women who have fought to defend the American dream? The Institute for Veterans and Military Families at Syracuse University has created programs to empower veterans through business ownership as a post-service career, with no-cost programs for veterans with disabilities, caregivers and family members, female veterans, Guard reservists, and their families. Visit vets.syr.edu to learn more.
Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice. And for some, that sacrifice is more than many of us can imagine. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. Let's not allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. They deserve more. Sometimes just thank you isn't enough. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air, there's a feeling of Christmas. Silver bells.
I'm Chuck Scarborough. Right now, thousands of people in the tri-state area need warm coats. Please give your used coats to the New York Cares Coat Drive.
In the city.